My name is Logan, and I am doing the urban part of the world. And here are all these houses, as you can see, are very tall, and they are really close to each other. And there is a lot of people in the urban communities. There's a lot of places to go, like there's like 8 buildings because there's a lot of places to go in the urban community. And there's quite many people in the urban community. And it's not, if you live in the city, like downtown St. Louis, it's not urban. You can't just like sit in your house and be like relaxed, because like you could hear like someone honk their horn, or you could hear a whole bunch of stuff because there's so many people and cars just if you live in the city. But if you live in the rural area and you don't work at a barn, it's pretty relaxing if you're not by a barn. Like,
if you don't live on a farm? Yeah.
Like, it's pretty, like, you don't have to do anything. Like, there's not as many jobs except the farm in the rural area.
So, like, tell me what your family does.
My family, we just, most of the time we sit out on our deck because we just can't hear anything. And like every once in a while we'll see a bunch of like animals go across the backfields.
And so which type of community does your family live in?
We live in rural.
Rural, okay. Good. Emma?
My name is Emma, and I did the rural community, which is also called the country. And I made a farm and a cornfield and a bean field and a wheat field. And on a farm you have to have a cornfield and a bean field because the bean fields put in nutrients into the ground and the corn takes it up every time it grows there. And so if you plant corn every year in the same field, it won't be too good because there's no more nutrients in the ground. And the bean field does the exact opposite thing. It puts the nutrients in the ground. So most of the time, farmers, if they're smart, they'll switch the fields every year.
And tell me about the blue space.
That's the Mississippi River.
Oh, so what city and what community did you guys make here?
Like, I did like downtown St. Louis, and she really did some of Illinois or something.
So you guys switched because Logan, you live in
Illinois.
and Emma lives in
St. Louis.
Good.
I don't know really.
What would be in between?
Suburban.
Suburban.
Tell me about that.
Suburban has like a little both. Like, it has some open space, but urban, but urban still has less open space, but suburban has more, like, it doesn't have as much as rural, but it has more than urban, and there are just as many houses, maybe a little more houses than urban, but maybe just like 2 more houses, but they're only about like this size. They're not as like big as
Okay. And what would we call that? Like suburban areas where a bunch of people live would be called what?
residential.
Anything else you guys want to tell us? Emma, where did you learn about the nutrients in the soil?
Well, my grandma and grandpa live in Illinois, and when we go to visit them, once we drove past fields, and I saw a cornfield, and then I saw on the other side a bean field, but I didn't know what it was. And then my dad told me it was a bean field, and he also told me why farmers do both and switch the fields around every year.
Interesting. That's very good
Because
information.
he grew up in Illinois, in the country.
Okay. And tell me about Slovakia. What kind of community did you live in Slovakia?
Both.
Both?
There's a lot of mountains and free land space, and also a lot of cities.
Interesting. Okay. So which one do you prefer?
Pretty much, I like both of them.
You like both? Logan, which one do you prefer?
I would prefer the
Rural.
because it's way more, as long as you don't have a job on the farm, it's so relaxing.
Okay, very
But
good.
You can't just sit in your like house and just go and just not hear anything.
Good. Okay, nice job.